clarity and structure. So you've got to be very, very clear. Simple words, conversational, and I think you've got to understand what your audience wants. And also I think as you build credibility and trust, you get to take them with you. So, and I think structure is really, really important. So you got to distill complexity into simplicity, and that's a real challenge. Take noise, a cloud, and bring clarity to it. And I think the only way you actually get clarity is actually by creating. Because the art of creating actually creates clarity, because you've got to stop, think, does this make sense? And then as you create, you start to polish it. So you start with a rough draft, and then you keep polishing it until finally going, okay, it's good enough to hit publish. So the art of creation is something that's important for all of us as human beings to actually, one, if you've discovered your passionate purpose, is actually not just to think of an idea and put it down on a piece of paper and file it away in a filing cabinet. Is actually be willing to sit down, create it, and then share it. Because that's where the magic really happens, is actually in the sharing. Because what happens then is that the world basically talks back to you. So what we have is, I remember reading a book by Wayne Dyer talking about the superconscious, which we're all connected as human beings. The social web is actually superconsciousness enabled by technology now. So we're all connected now, but enabled by technology. So I think you've got to be willing to be vulnerable and to share your creation with the world. Be willing to be wrong, to be judged, but then you are in a place to be validated. And when you are validated, you are so empowered. And then you become like on a mission. And that's been my experience. It's scary. So, and for some people it's scarier than others. I was on the train coming back from Bergen, and I sat next to a kindergarten teacher. And she said, I have a choice to make, as we had a conversation. She said, do I take this job which is about what I'm passionate about, which is making education fun, what makes kids happy, because I'm a kindergarten teacher, that's what I'm really curious about? Or do I go and live in Bergen where my family is and needs me as well? And I said, well, why don't you start creating a blog rather than take the job, but it's actually going to restrict you, and you're going to have to, you will not be able to publish because you are going to have gatekeepers, which is the organisation. And that will be your IP, but you're giving your IP to someone, whereas the social web and blogging and digital publishing empowers you to actually share your stuff with the world with no filters. And that's incredibly empowering. I said, well, maybe you can go take another job in the town, look after the family and family commitments, but start a blog in parallel, bootstrap, and do your own research. Because what's to stop you? You don't need an organisation to say, you need to do research on this. Okay, do it. That is what the social web delivers.